Hey guys, it's Adam. I hope you're doing fantastic. Welcome to Do You Watch Anime? It's a show where I sit down with a guest every week and ask them, do you watch anime? And we go from there. And today, joining me is voice actor in such anime as Trillion Game. I may be a guild receptionist, but I'll solo any boss to clock out on time. And most recently, My Hero Vigilantes, Dakota Farnsworth. How are you today?
Hello, doing super well. How are
Good,
you?
good. So, do you watch anime?
I do. Surprisingly, yes.
So how did you originally get into watching anime?
Ooh, so when I was younger, my brother was really into Soul Eater.
Okay.
And so Soul Eater was my first anime. Well, technically, because I mean we had Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh,
Mm-hmm.
but like those weren't like well, those are mainstream. I don't know if that's weird to say. You know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
it was the first time I went out of my way to explore anime with Soul
Okay.
Eater.
Yeah.
So Soul Eater was my first. I actually got ended up getting a tattoo of that right after I got hired by Crunchy. Just to be like, oh hey, first show, right? So I started watching Soul Eater, and then I watched I believe it was Death Note,
Okay.
and then I watched Future Diary.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so I kind of went across the board with
Yeah.
that. Yeah,
Damn.
yeah. So there was those. I watched Dragon Ball Z. I actually read the entirety of the Dragon Ball Z manga.
Oh wow.
Was it that was a task for sure.
Yeah.
What is it? What else? Yeah, I would say that those are like the main ones that started it off. Yeah, so
Okay.
I would say those were my first loves
Mm-hmm.
of anime.
Yeah, I love that. So what kind of what made you want to read Dragon Ball Z?
So that one was I was at my local library one day when I was
Mm-hmm.
like I want to say like 13, and I was super bored. Like I was like I don't know what to do. All my
Yeah.
friends are working. Well, not working, but like they're off like doing stuff. And it was like the one couple days out of the summer that I was just like I just didn't have much to do. So I was like, let's go to the library, screw it. And so I saw they had the entire collection of Dragon Ball Z on the wall, and I
Wow.
was like, I got like all day, so might as well just pick these up. So I read the entirety of Dragon Ball from start to finish in that one sitting. It was like 8 hours, something like that.
Jesus.
Yeah, it was a lot. Yeah, I know a lot about the manga now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
holy
yeah.
shit. Jesus.
I did forget some things though. Like there are,
Mm-hmm.
like when you read through an entire thing like that and you binge it, you do kind of forget. So like there, like I'm sure if like you threw a name, like I might be take a second to be like, wait, that was. But yeah, no, what is it?
Yeah.
For the most part, I know quite a bit about Dragon Ball in that sense, which is really ironic because I've never seen Super. So and that's something I need to go do at some point.
Yeah. Oh my god, yeah. That was my childhood was Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah,
I literally I I always tell this story where I grew up hating Inuyasha because it was Dragon Ball Z and then Inuyasha, and I had to go to bed right after Dragon Ball Z, and I just wanted more Dragon Ball Z.
that's fair.
So I was
Yeah.
like, fuck this show until my partner was just like, okay, we're watching it. I was like, ugh, I guess. And then I was just like, I love this so much. But yeah, Dragon Ball Z was like one of my cornerstones of my childhood. Yeah. So what are some of your favorite anime nowadays?
Ooh. Okay. So there was a very large period where I kind of stopped. I wasn't watching anime as much in terms of like sitting down to enjoy it, but more of like studying it, you know?
Yeah.
And so with working full time, and then also I was trying to do VA full time for a while. So
Hmm.
I was working both of those. I was trying to work both of those between, was it day job was like 40 hours a week. And then VA, I was trying to consistently do 20 to 30, maybe 40 if I could.
Wow.
And so that was for about 3 years.
Oh my
And
god.
so yeah, no, I sleep was something. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
But hey, it worked out, right? So, but what is it? So I ended up missing a lot of anime in that time, other than that, just for studying it. So when was it? It was like I want to say like 8 months ago. One of my best friends was like, "Okay, you're going to Texas. You're doing the crunchy thing. We're gonna figure. At this time I wasn't in it yet, and he's
Mhm.
like, "You're gonna do the crunchy thing. We're gonna get you as like as educated on all this stuff as possible." So he ran me through Jujutsu Kaisen.
Okay.
He ran me through Jujutsu Kaisen. He ran me through Chainsaw Man.
Okay. Yep.
He ran me through My Hero Academia. But I had stopped at season 3, so like season 3 until we are where we're at, like before the most recent season is
Yeah.
where we stopped.
Yeah.
So I still haven't seen the current season that's out.
Oh,
I know,
so
I know.
good.
I need to.
Yeah.
I've heard it's so good.
It's so
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. So I would say that's one I'm heavily anticipating. I can't wait to keep continuing that.
Mhm.
Dr. Stone is definitely one of my favorites of all time.
Mhm.
Yeah, I love Dr. Stone. I think Senku might be my favorite anime character,
Okay,
actually.
wow.
Yeah, he's pretty up there for me, and I like
Mhm.
I like sociology. I like science. I actually
Mhm.
work in a lab on my day job.
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah.
yeah, so that fits, right?
Yeah.
So when I saw Senku, I was like, oh wow, this guy is like everything I like in a character, just all
Yeah.
like mixed in one, right? So yeah, no, I think he's a fantastic character. So I
Mhm.
would say my tops are JJK, JJK, Doctor Stone, and Attack on Titan.
Okay.
Hmm.
Okay.
That was
Yeah.
another one I didn't mention. That Attack on
Yeah.
Titan's also pretty up there.
Mhm. Yeah. So what was it about Jujutsu Kaisen that made you love it so much?
I think there's like the direction that they went with curses, right?
Mhm.
Is that the immediate connotation of the word curse has such a negative vibe to it, and it's usually something you only see in like the bad guys that are using it, or the antagonists, right? So it was interesting when I watched it that they switched it and they went for oh no, the protagonists are using those too, and I
Mhm.
was okay. That's it. That's cool world building. And then I thought the characters were great. The animation was stellar. Was every fight I was just like, was it oh what uh the father that just kicked everybody's ass. What was his name? Was it I know, what a description.
Oh, was it the principal? No, no.
No, it was
The teacher?
no, what is it? Not main character, but his friend.
Oh, fuck.
Forgetting the names right now. Um
Um, I am blanking as well.
Damn it! Yeah. So so the character, was it the character that Sukuna wants to take over eventually, the black
Yeah.
haired guy.
Oh, yeah,
So
yeah, Megami, yeah.
his
Oh,
dad,
Toji,
yeah,
Toji, yeah, yeah.
Toji. That's it. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Yeah. So Toji, when I saw his fight scene, I was like, this is so good. Like I already thought the show was great, but when I saw that, I was like, oh my goodness. Yeah. So yeah, no, I think Toji was fantastic, and I think Sukuna is one of my favorite villains in anime. I think he's
Okay.
definitely up there on the list for me.
Mhm. Yeah. I we binge watched the first season when it like finished coming out like in dub,
Mhm.
and like all the way back like pandemic era, and yeah, we're like, "Ooh, this is so good." And then we went to see JJK Zero, the
That movie
movie.
was so
Oh.
good. The movie was so good.
I was like, I am not gonna cosplay from this. I like Yuji, that's about it. And then I saw Zero and I went, oh, Yuta's my new favorite character. Oh no.
And then the end of season 2 happens, and you
Mhm.
realize what Yuta's like purpose was in the story, and you're like, oh shit.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. When they pulled Yuta up on the screen at the end of season 2, I was like, oh no, you're the bad guy. Oh no.
Oh my god, yeah. I was like, I love this man. I love this boy so much. I have a tattoo of him.
You serious?
Oh yeah.
Seriously?
Oh yeah.
Yo, show it.
Yeah, it's on my calf, so I can't really like
Oh god, that's fair. Yeah, yeah.
I will. But yeah, it's like my entire calf.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
That's cool.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But I love that. I love that boy so much. I was like, "Ooh, you're traumatized. I love you." I was like, "I was bullied too. I get it."
Isn't it crazy though? Like, I don't know if I'm the only one who feels this way.
Mhm.
Is it wrong that even after I found out that that he's one of the antagonists next season, I was still kind of like, I'm still kind of rooting for Yuta though. Like, I'm still kind of like Yuji, definitely like rooting for him too, but Yuta, I'm like, I can't watch him die. Like he's up there for me too. I
Yeah.
think Gojo's my favorite, and then Yuta's like close second.
Okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's valid. Yeah, I just, and my
Choice.
partner has a Nobara shrine of like all like she collects the figures and like literally like an entire 2 shelves of Nobara merchandise.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it's I love JJK so much.
I realized as we were talking about it, I have
Hey.
a little Gojo on my desk. Yeah.
Hell yeah. So moving into roles that you voice,
Hmm.
you voice Lo- here we go. Lost Blender. There we go.
Los Splendor.
Lost
Los
Blender.
Splendor.
There we
Hmm.
go. And Guild Receptionist. How was it getting to be a part of such an incredible show?
It was amazing.
Yeah.
Wow, that's so what was really great was so that's my first main cast role in an
Mhm.
anime. I've actually only been at Crunchy for about like 6 months now. Actually, no, five. I would say five. And so what is it getting onto a main cast role like that? Like very quickly, I was like, oh my gosh, well, thank you. I appreciate what is it? The studio having trust that I can bring something to the table that they think is correct. And what is it, being surrounded by Jill Harris and Cayman Casey, and
Yeah.
what is it, they were very supportive when I first joined the project. They both sent me DMs saying, hey, you're gonna do great. And then when the first episode came out and they heard my voice, they said, hey, you did fantastic, you're doing great, like this is awesome. So it was nice to have that reassurance that and not to say I was like not confident in the thing I was doing, but you're so new to it. You're just like, hope I'm doing this right. I
Yeah.
think I am. Like,
Yeah.
I'm bringing the thing to the table I normally do. So like,
Mhm.
hopefully that transfers to anime well, right? And so Cayman and Jill were very good. Were very good cheerleaders in the process, and then Manny Aragon, the director,
Yep.
and then Jimmy Woods were both incredible in sorry, Jeremy Woods, sorry, not Jimmy. Sorry, Jeremy Woods
Yeah.
were both great leaders in the process, and they were it was an incredible show to be on. It was my first, I'd say, big experience in anime. Not to
Mhm.
say other ones weren't, but like that was like that's where like I really got to show what like my acting chops. And
Yeah.
it sounds from the reception that I got, it sounds like it did pretty well. So
Yeah.
that's the best thing I can ask for in doing it
Yeah.
is great feedback. So
Yeah. It was one of my favorite shows last season, like straight up. Like so good. Um yeah, so what's your favorite part about Lowe being a part of the Silver Sword?
I think his position as like an older brother figure is definitely something I enjoy. When Manny was talking to me about Lowe, he mentioned that he pretty much wanted that energy throughout the entire production, and I was like, okay, I feel like I can do that. So I think like Lowe in the Silver Sword is kind of like he's what is it? Jade's the leader, but Lowe is the one that's making sure that everyone's morale is like to a level where they can do their jobs correctly. And I'm
Yeah.
like, I like that about him.
Mhm.
What is it? He's very friendly, which I enjoy. Yeah, I think he encompasses like the personality of what being a member of something like that is. And I think
Mhm.
that whenever everyone's at their lowest, he's able to kind of bring them back up to that point and be like, hey, this is where we're supposed to be. This is
Mhm.
what we represent. And I do like that about him a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. So, what was your reaction to being cast as Lowe?
Oh, okay. So I hope we don't I hope you don't mind getting too into personal stuff.
No, no.
So, was unfortunately earlier this year, my stepmom passed away.
Mm.
I found out the day of her wake that I got cast,
Oh my
and
goodness.
so what is it? My stepmom, when I moved from Ohio to here, and she raised me since I was like 4, or helped raise me since I was 4. And so when I moved from Ohio to here, she was super supportive. She was like, you need to go chase your dreams. You need to get out of Ohio. You need to go do the thing that you need to do. And so the last call I had with her was telling her I got into Crunchyroll, and it was telling her like all of these things were popping off, and it's really sad. And yeah, it was a hard year. It was a
Yeah.
really hard year, but every single time I went in that booth, I did every single performance for her. I did the audition for her. The audition came out the day I found out she passed, and
Oh.
so when I did the audition, I put everything I had into it. I followed every single note I've ever had for it. I was thinking about her the whole time, and I ended up getting it. And I attribute that to being like me saying like, hey, I'm gonna do this for her. So yeah, no. So I think so. Low. It's sad, but I like knowing that like my stepmother was like helped me kickstart my career like in a very impactful way. Again, sad, but it's
Yeah.
it no, it was a lot, and I was able to push through it, and you know, we're here now, and it's great. And I know she's watching the show up there, right?
Yep.
And what is it? She's watching everything that's going on, and
Yeah.
yeah, no, I think she'd be really proud of what I've done up to this point, and I want to
Yeah.
keep making sure that I'm doing that. I keep pushing for her. So
Yeah. Oh, I love, I kind of, yeah, I just love that, you know, putting everything. Oh my goodness.
thank you. Yeah,
So,
no.
yeah.
Sorry, I know that
No,
was a
no,
lot. I
no, no,
apologize.
no, no,
Yeah.
no. You're good. All good. All good. It moving on to My Hero.
Mhm.
So being a fan of the show, how was it getting cast as
Yeah.
as Mario?
Oh, it was great.
Yeah.
So that was the what is it? That was like my North Star for career for my VA career.
Mhm.
The I'm the type of guy that believes in North Stars. I believe that even if you don't achieve the goal,
Yeah.
having a path of where to go is always great, because even if you don't get it, you can look back at everything you accomplished and say, I did all this awesome stuff on the way, right? So my hero has been that North Star for me since I started VA. And that was about 3 years ago. And so every single plan that I had made up to this point had been to be in my hero. Every business decision, getting into Crunchy, what is it? Like the demo reels I made, the types of performances I wanted to do, the auditions that I did, and what projects I was trying to get into were the things that I thought like looked good on a resume for this specific thing. And so I just kind of kept working that on that like over and over again. And so when I ended up was it last year, someone had messaged me that there was a rumor that Vigilantes was going to be a thing, and Vigilantes was like the main show I was trying to get into. And so I was like, okay, I'm hearing it. I'm hearing the rumors. It's probably going to take a little bit for it to get produced, so that gives me some time to get to Texas, get myself in front of Crunchyroll, and like get this and like try to get this started, right? So I talked to a couple of coaches. I talked to Jason Lord, the director of Trillion Game,
Mhm.
and I had gotten their feedback on what do you think of me as a performer. And I remember we were in a class. I was in a class with Jason, and we had done a dubbing scene of Shangri-La Frontier, and he basically would have us do the line. And then he would record that. He would have recorded that. He puts it into the show, edits it really quick, just so we can like see what our voices look like in the show.
Yeah.
And so when I did that, um, when I had performed it, he like looked like he was about to jump out of his chair. He goes, "That's anime." Like that was anime. And
Holy shit.
I'm like, okay, so I
Yeah.
think I think we got something here. So we ended up talking out a little bit during the class, and he was like, I was like, okay, so real quick question: if you were, let's say, you're me, I started voice acting about 3 years ago. Um, I'm thinking of moving to Texas. What are like the do's and don'ts based on what you know about the industry right now? What do you think that I should do before making that jump? And so he goes, all right, well, just so you know, don't be the type of person that's going to move down here, not have a job, not have any finances, think they're going to get into Crunchyroll, da, 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 da. And I was like, oh, no, I don't think that at all. And he's like, okay, cool. And so
Yeah.
he's like, okay, and make sure you have demo reels, and make sure you have finances and things saved up, and make sure you have like a good budget, and make sure you have a place picked out, and da, da, da. And I was just like, oh, I have all that figured out. And he's like, oh, well, all right then. And so then we started getting more into the advice side of things, and I was like, okay, cool. Like it sounds like I it sounds like I'm doing the right stuff. So so I ended up moving down here, and that was in October, and
Mhm.
then uh, what is it? I had actually submitted to Crunchyroll around September, and then like a week before I moved down here is when I received the thing that's saying that I was on the roster. And I was like, are you serious? So my plan was that I was thinking I was going to submit and then come down here and then work at the entirety of 2025 to try and get into Crunchy by 2026.
Yeah.
So I was like 2 years ahead of schedule. So I was like, oh shit. I was like, oh shit. So then I get into Crunchy. I come down here and I start doing a bunch of workshops. And so the first workshop I do is Jason just so happens to be having a workshop. And I was like, okay, cool. Like I'll check this out. And so I go to the workshop. He recognizes me. I say, hello, thank you for all of the lessons. Like I'd love to learn from you more. And so we had a class together. And then by like the next, I think like 2 or 3 weeks later, he got me contracted. And then I got on Trillion Game. So Trillion Game was my first show.
Yeah.
So then that happens. And then I keep hearing more about vigilantes. I'm like, okay, I'm pretty sure this isn't crap. Because a couple of actors were telling me like, oh no, it's probably just like an April Fool's joke. And I'm like, it was in July though. I don't think that this is a joke. And so what is it? So I just kind of kept practicing. I had gotten into I hadn't gotten into Receptionist yet. It was around I think it was December that they announced it. And so when I had seen the confirmation that it was going to be happening in April, I was like, oh, I need to lock the fuck in. I need to lock the fuck in. And so I was like, okay, I have till April to prove that I am good for this. Like I am the person they're looking for. Yeah. And so I busted my butt for 4 months. I was working nonstop. Anytime that I wasn't auditioning, anytime I wasn't working on something, I was practicing. I was working on practice scripts. I was literally reading the manga and voicing all the characters. I was like, okay, like I gotta get in front of this. And we'll see what happens, right? Because nothing's ever guaranteed.
Of course.
And then some events happen, things I can't talk about, but basically eventually ended up getting into it. Dream come true. I'm so happy. The hard work really paid off. The dream was to be in the My Hero universe. Dream fulfilled. Yeah. North Star complete. And then we're here. And I think the character I'm playing too is really great. Him being the guy, like the trigger dealer and kind of helping kick off the story. I'm very honored to help tell it. So I'm geeking out a little bit. I love vigilantes. Yeah. I have the entire manga set over in my cabinet right now.
Hell yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. When I saw him drop the figures, I was like, there's something in there. There's
I remember one of my best friends, his name's Omar. He texted me immediately and goes, I don't trust them dolls, dude. I'm like, oh yeah. But that was another thing too, was there was a buddy of mine. So Omar, he runs his own, he runs a React channel. And I had helped him start that React channel. And the first thing he ever reacted to was, anime wise, was My Hero. And it was because I had recommended him to do it. So he's been trying. So ever since I told him I wanted to do My Hero, he's been like, oh yeah, you're going to get it. You're going to get it. Come on, do this, do that. And so he's been kind of helping me and supporting me along this whole time. And so when I got cast, he was like, it all came full circle. He's like, you got me into it and then I wanted to support you. And then you got in the show that started all of this. He's like, that's great. So what is it? That's a cool story to tell as well.
Yeah. Oh my God. I love that. So what is your favorite part about vigilantes?
So I think a lot of it's Koichi's story, and it's hitting the nail on the head on the terms of you can't always be the nice guy. You have to be able to make a name for yourself, and you need to be able to stand up for yourself and grow confidence and grow stronger as a person. And so when I was younger, I was very much the thankless nice guy. So I was, the thing that I would do in college is if I would be working, so I'd be going to college. It was it's going to sound crazy. I would go from 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. Monday through Thursday. And then I'd be working Friday through Sunday for about 35 hours.
Jesus.
So I was going crazy. It was a lot. So, so what ended up happening as well is that I was also the guy who's everyone's therapist. So when people needed something, I was always there for them. And it was starting to tear me down. And I had I was late to class for physical science for it was like 20 minutes. I was late, and I sit down in class, and my professor goes, Dakota, stay after class, please. And I'm like, oh shit. Oh shit. So class ends, I stay after, and she goes, what's going on with you? Like, you're always late, but like your scores are great. Like your homework's fine, your tests are fine, but you're always late. You look like a zombie. You like what is going on here? And so I was like, well, I'm just like, I'm trying to help. I'm trying to help people out, and like, I'm kind of everyone's therapist. And she said, Dakota, you cannot spend your life trying to fix everybody else's. And so that's when I started realizing, maybe I am like inputting too much into this. And so I started trying to like go for something myself. And so voice acting became like the first thing that I had done for myself. Like, not saying like,
Yeah.
I didn't have any choices early in life, but more or less of like, it was the first time I did something that wasn't like intended to be with someone else. It was supposed to be just a me thing and something that I enjoyed. And so that pursuit is becoming a career. And I see a lot of Koichi's story as something that I experienced in the past, and it feels like a recent chapter of my life. So being able to help tell that is very important to me, and I'm very, very excited about the direction that it's going. I'm happy for everyone who got cast. I'm happy that we have such a strong team, and it's great, and I love it. And I think it's going to be stellar. And knowing what happens later in the manga, I'm like, ooh, it's going to get spicy.
Yep.
So so that's what Vigilantes means to me. It's sort of like looking into the past and seeing your past self and kind of like wanting that to, see that grow,
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Steve Yurko.
And I'm Tara Sands. Now available from Maji Media is our new podcast, 4Kids Flashback. 4Kids is the company who brought you the English dub of Pokemon in the late 90s and so many other shows like Yu-Gi-Oh!, Shaman King, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Kirby, the infamous One Piece dub, and so many more.
We'll be talking to the people who worked at 4Kids. Actors, directors, writers, editors, producers, engineers, you get the point. And hopefully get the answers to questions both you and I have about the company.
I actually worked there as a voice actor on some of the shows.
And I was a kid watching the shows and remember way more than Tara does.
And thank God for that. Steve is actually a professional storyboard artist, which gives some really unique insights into anime and animation. Subscribe today wherever you get your podcasts. That's the number 4 Kids Flashback.
Hey guys, welcome to the Patreon portion of today's episode. And if you want to join the Patreon, there are a few different tiers, like shoutouts on the episodes, as well as exclusive videos and behind-the-scenes content, and so much more, and even the episode a day early. Thank you to Geo, Keith, Blythe, Bunny, Mikey, Sheba, and Brooke. And if you want to join the Patreon or find out more, the link will be down below. And yeah, back to the episode. Oh my god. So what was it about like that made you want to start voice acting?
Oh gosh, that's a story. Okay, so that I'll try to like narrow it down because I've gone on what is it? I had a couple interviews before where I went on the rant and it was like 40 minutes. So I'm gonna try not making it that.
Yeah.
So I had done theater when I was in high school. I did Cinderella, Oliver Twist, and Bye Bye Birdie. My best friend originally got into Cinderella, and our theater director, she had been in the Beauty and the Beast Broadway show. And so she was I believe she was ensemble for them. And then she went into teaching, and she'd been doing that for years. And so she put on the Cinderella production, and all of our friends were doing it. All of our friends were jumping into it. Yeah. And my best friend was like, Dakota, just so you know, I booked one of the leads, but I'm going to reject it unless you do it too. And I go, oh, you're a dick. So I ended up joining because of that. I had the season of my life, super fun. And then I proceeded to keep doing theater for the entirety of high school. I got into then photography because I didn't really think that acting was like a viable career route, or at least it wasn't like very easily accessible. I just didn't know like about how easy voice acting was accessibly at the time. So I was like, I thought you had to be like Tom Kenny to be in it. So I was like, yeah. So it didn't seem like something that I could just do. Right.
Yeah.
And so, so when I was doing photography, I got into a class called History of Photography. And on the last day we could drop out of class and we could like change our majors, well, not change our majors, but drop out of class and like refund it and do everything. Our one teacher goes, okay, I'm going to show you all something. I will not in good conscience have you guys pay for this class without knowing this, like the situation going on in the world with like how photography is. So he pulls up a projector screen, and then on the projector there's 5 photos. He zooms into all of them, and he basically does a rundown of, oh, these look pretty, right? Like these look really good, right? And we're all like, yeah, these look great. He's like, okay, great. One of these 5 images is a real photo. All of the others are made in Blender. So today is a pop quiz on you telling me which of these 5 photos is real, and good luck. And so we spent the entire class going through trying to figure out which one was real. By the end of the class, we realized was that he told us all of them are fake. And so, yeah, right.
Oh my God.
So yeah, we were getting stumped because some of them were like photorealistic. We were like, there's no way that they didn't take this on like a cell phone camera or something.
Yeah.
Like this is insane. And so, yeah. So he goes, technology's getting to a point where if you want to be a photographer, you don't have to even go outside anymore. You can just make photos in your room. So if you want to get into this, you need to be on your A game, or maybe you need to go look for something else. And so that's where I kind of woke up and I was like, well, that's, like I love the art. Career pursuit, I wasn't that invested into it. I think that really opened my eyes. I think it's something I'd like to like revisit at some point, but I don't think at this moment that that's quite where I want to be. So he, oh goodness. Yeah. So I ended up dropping out of photography, and I ended up doing theater in college, because I was like, well, I know I want to do something artsy. I'm not the 9-to-5 guy. I really can't sit in like a cubicle every day.
Yeah.
And what is it? So I ended up doing theater in college, got my degree for it. And then a friend from high school reached out to me and said, hey, Dakota, my aunt and uncle do voiceover work, and I think it'd be really cool if you got into something like this. I'm in a game right now. We have a lot of extra roles that need to be filled. Is that something you'd be interested in trying out? And I said, sure, why not? Right? Like that sounds great. And she's like, cool. I'll just like, like maybe grab like a phone mic or something, like a phone microphone, and then just like record into it, send me some samples, we'll figure it out. Right. And I was like, okay, cool. So I ended up recording that, sending them the samples. They accepted me. I got into that project. It ended up flopping, unfortunately. But in the time, I met a lot of really cool people, got to learn a lot of cool tricks. And I was like, okay, this is something I really want to do. But I realized that in the acting world, especially from my time in college, that there are a lot of scams, and there's a lot of red flag projects and like things that you just can't trust. Yeah. So I was like, okay, I'm going to like back away from this a little bit. I'll do maybe like a couple of like machinima projects or something. Right.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I'm going to spend the entire year just learning it. I'm going to read every book I can. I'm going to read every resource I can. I'm going to watch every video, listen to every podcast I can, like just completely just get myself absorbed in all the information I need to. And then after that year was over, made my first demo reel. And that day that when I like fully had it produced, that's when I was like, okay, I believe I believe I can say I'm a voice actor at this point. And then the first game I auditioned for was a game called Project Eden's Garden. And that popped off like crazy. I got into my first convention with that. I ended up getting like print side. I got onto Streamily. There was a lot of really cool stuff that came out of Eden's Garden. So, one of the interviewers I was talking to was like, damn, that was one hell of a debut. And I'm like, yeah. Yeah. I was like, oh my gosh. No, I'm very grateful. And it's, it's really cool. Everything has really worked out in the craziest ways, man. Like it's nuts. And, no, I'm very happy to be here, but that's what I would say, like, got me started in voice acting. And I think playing in Eden's Garden has made a lot of other things possible. And then me finally getting into Crunchyroll. Now I'm like living the dream and doing the dream job, and like enjoying that victory for a little bit before I start forming my next North Star.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm at.
Yeah. Oh my God, I love that. And so, where does the sciences come into play?
Okay, so basically, I had a friend in college who originally was helping me with science because I sucked at it. I was
Okay.
terrible, but she would tutor me, and
Mhm.
so when she graduated college, well, no, she didn't graduate at that point, but she had gotten a job at a laboratory, and she said, "Okay, Dakota, I have something for you. I'd like you to apply to this job. I know you're not a science guy. I know this isn't your thing. However, I know that you're very teachable because I
Mhm.
did she's like, I did the tutoring thing with you. And I know that if I give you something and I tell you it's important, that you're going to take time to study it, analyze it, and make sure it's done properly." And I was like, yeah, that's fair. And so she's like, so I would like you to be one of our assistants, like one of the lab assistants. And I was like, sure, why not? Like, it paid better than my job. I
Yep.
had a friend with me on the job, and I was like an assistant to them, so that was great, right? And so I ended up joining the job. I've been there ever since. Quest Diagnostics is the name of the company.
Mhm.
And I've been working for them ever since. I actually transferred to another location down here in
Mhm.
Texas when I started trying to do the move to here. When I started trying to do the move here, and yeah, it's kind of just been off to the races ever since. And yeah, no, the company's great. I enjoy it. I enjoy working there, and we get to see a lot of crazy stuff. And I definitely know more about science than I did when I first started. But the ironic thing too was in Ohio, I had gotten to a point where I became the team lead of one of the departments, and people would join Quest as like people who came in with like bachelor's degrees and like and yeah, right, you know where this is going. So people would come in with bachelor's degrees, and so I would be training them, and they'd be like, "Wow, you know a lot of stuff. What's your degree in?" And I said, "Oh, theater."
Yeah, when you were like, "Yeah, I just went to college for theater," and I was like, where does the science part come in?
Yeah, it was definitely an unexpected route, but
Mhm.
I had been looking for a job for a long time that had the benefit of you're not only just like doing a job that you know you go and you make money at, but it's like
Yeah.
something that you do something meaningful every day.
Mhm.
And so I had done like, it's gonna sound cheesy, I had done a restaurant job originally, and I was like, oh, you know, like helping the community, making like food and stuff, and then that was not what it was.
No.
Like, yeah, you're even like, yeah, that's a naive thing to think, but unfortunately, but hey, at the time, like I was just, you know, that was just kind of my thought process.
Yeah.
And then I ended up going to a fertilizer company, and I was like, okay, make the world greener, yay! And you already know where this is going. So I ended up getting there, and it's like straight up desk work, like full on like the cubicle 9 to 5 I just said I couldn't do.
Yeah.
And it was like a dead quiet office. There were
Oh.
2 of us. All you heard was the keyboard clicking, and then there was this little light that went bzzz the
Oh.
entire day. And I almost fell asleep multiple times, to the point where I was just, oh, what is it? The point where I was just like, all right, I need to look for something else. And so I ended up actually getting let go because of the COVID stuff.
Oh,
I
yeah,
was
yeah.
still in the middle of training, and they were like, hey, listen, Dakota, like we would love to continue your training, but with COVID and the lockdown happening, like we need to make sure we make like every sale possible. Like we if we miss one sale, that could be like lights out for us.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, well, you know, that's fair. That makes sense. So what is it? Thank you so much. Have a great day. And so I ended up leaving that job. And so that's when all of the lab stuff started happening. And that one actually was very helpful. Like, what is it? We were dealing with heart attack patients.
Okay, yeah.
What is it? Patients who had various STIs and
Mhm.
just various diseases, and so like I went from looking for it to now I have it in a way I did not expect. But
Yeah.
and now I'm in Texas, and I work at a histology lab, so
Mm.
we're mainly dealing with a lot of cancer patients. So
Yeah.
I'm just, yeah, no. So I will say that makes it very hard to memorize names. I'll tell you that, because we deal with like 60 patients a day. And
Mm.
so I'll be reading and like getting to know their names like throughout the day. And then I go to like Crunchy, or I go to some like networking event, and I'm like doing my absolute best to remember names. And I already had these other 60 that I remembered
Yeah.
from like earlier in the day. And I'm like, I'm so sorry. I'm going to have you repeat it like for the 5th time. So yeah, no. So that, what is it? It's very rewarding though. I
Mhm.
yeah, I enjoy the work I do, and
Yeah.
I have a good team that helps me out, and
Mhm.
um They did give me a little bit of wrong information though. They told me when I was moving from Ohio to here, they're like, oh yeah, histology lab, same thing as our lab, which the lab there was a heart lab, and so they were like, oh yeah, histology, same thing. And so I move over here, not at all the same, completely different. I had no idea what I was doing. I had to like, what is it? On top of a lot of stuff that was happening at the beginning of the year, I also at the job had to basically learn human anatomy to like, not, I wouldn't say like a master's degree level, but it felt like, but it definitely felt like it for someone that didn't know anything about anatomy. And so I was basically learning anatomy, going through all the, like basically trying to get like, you know, working on voiceover and making sure I was ready for vigilantes if that ever came about. What is it? All this stuff with like my stepmom and what is it? So basically all of this stuff just kind of like stacked up.
Yeah.
And I was just like, yeah, no, it was crazy, but yeah, no, but point is, all worked out. Love the job. I got my dream job. I got onto my dream show.
Yeah,
it's been going really great. I couldn't be happier, and I think definitely the lab job has made a lot of what I needed to happen. They even helped me move down here when they heard that I was going to do it. They were very, very, very generous with the assistance. Yeah, so. Yeah, no, I owe them a lot. I will be loyal to them for the rest of the time.
Yeah.
No, they've done well for me. Yeah. So
I love that. I completely agree with the 9-to-5 desk job. Can't do it. Not for me. I literally, it's funny. I was about to launch the podcast, and they're like, we're having budget cuts, and I was like, thank you so much. Awesome.
Wait, what?
Yeah, it's like literally I was about to launch the podcast, and my office job was like, it was like it was the day after Labor Day. And they're like, can I see you in the office? And I was like, uh-oh. I had been working there for like 3 years at that point, like different roles throughout the company. And they're like, oh yeah, we're gonna let you go. And I was like, well, it's a good thing I have the podcast, I guess. But yeah, and the job I'm at now is so like flexible, and like I can make ends meet and also like schedule around interviews and stuff. And it's
that's always the best. Yeah. That's the best when your schedule is so flexible that all of the freelance stuff just feels like another part of the day. Yeah.
I'm like, thank you. Like literally like, oh, anytime you have an interview, just let me know. And I'm like, thank you.
That's really good. Yeah. I'm happy that you were able to find that, especially after the layoff. Like sometimes that stuff works out. It's weird, right? Like you go like, damn, I just lost my job, but here's like a better one. Oh shit. Okay. All right, cool.
Like straight up, like, oh my God. So what has been kind of the hardest lesson you've learned since becoming a voice actor?
Ooh, that's a big question. I don't think anyone's ever asked me that before. Thank you for that. Actually, most of these have been like original. I don't think I've ever been asked like what my favorite anime are. I don't think like there's a whole bunch of these I've never been asked. I never even got asked where the lab assistant stuff came from.
Oh my God.
The science stuff.
Yeah.
You're doing a great job. Thank you. Let's see. What's the hardest lesson? I would say courting failure.
Okay.
I had a really great opportunity to meet 2 VAs that gave me this advice. The first one was last year. I met Bryce Pinkham, who plays Stolas in Hell of a Boss. And so I went to one of the conventions, SAC Anime in Sacramento, and I had gone to his booth, and I basically, and like nobody was in the line too. I was like, there's no way that nobody is trying to meet Stolas right now. And I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go meet him. So I had my notebook in hand. I was just taking notes all weekend. I was just like, I'm gonna do this because I believe that like educating yourself at all times is always super important. Getting new perspectives is always super important. And I think that Bryce's definitely had a very significant impact on me. I mean, it was the concept of courting failure, and that invite essentially inviting the feeling of, I didn't do something right, or I didn't get somewhere I needed to be, or, this thing didn't work out, or, etc. And instead of taking it as like a negative, figure out how it can actually elevate you and get you stronger.
Mhm.
And so I think, it's always like, it's weird because when you hear the idea of like, like failing is a good thing, it feels like an oxymoron, right? But like
Yeah.
when you take every failure as a lesson to get better, you can't do anything but grow,
Mhm.
And so, I think it was the hardest thing to learn, but it's definitely been the most rewarding. And I don't think I've ever thought of, and like I didn't think this before, but like a lot of times when you don't get an audition, you're like, damn, that sucks. You know what I mean? Like, but like ever since then, I don't think I've really thought of any audition I didn't get, or anything I didn't book as like a failure. I just saw it as okay, like, that just wasn't what they were looking for. How could I improve it for next time? Like, what is it? The common thing I tell a lot of newer VAs when they ask me for advice on like how to get better at auditions is, I say, do the audition, send it, and then immediately analyze it, and then find 5 things that could have been better. Not saying it was bad, but
Yeah.
5 things that you just could have done better, like straight out. Because 9 times out of 10, when you make something and you think it's your best, you're like, hell yeah, send in that. And as soon as you send it, you go, oh no, it's terrible. Everyone's judging it. So I'm like, that's like the perfect time to go, okay, so why do you feel this way? Why could it have been better? I think you should just keep it out there and keep it in the void.
Mhm.
But like how could you have done better with it? And so then you can give yourself those reasons. And then the next time you audition, you can think about those things and then keep doing that over and over and over and over again. By the time that if you do it every day for 30 days, the audition at the beginning of the month and the end should be entirely different. They should be at an entirely different level of understanding. And like if you do it for a month, you'll see drastic results. And I think that's, it was the hardest lesson to learn, that of courting that idea of, you know what, I did suck at this,
Yeah.
but why? And
Yeah.
that's, it's difficult to do because you kind of like, everyone does have like a little bit of an ego that you kind of have to get over with that. But once you do, incredibly rewarding.
Yeah. Oh my God. I also love the I don't know, the phrase courting failure. Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Oh yeah. He was cooking with that.
Yeah.
He was giving some fire quotes all weekend. What is
Yeah.
it? I ended up seeing him a couple of times. Was Bryce a couple of times.
Yeah.
And he was just, he knew how to give advice in the best way. It was like a very Shakespearean, way of speaking. And then, he wasn't the only one that gave me that. Actually recently I met, Drew Breedlove, which is,
Oh
last
yeah.
year's
Yeah.
VA.
Yeah.
And so he was telling me the same thing. He was like, enjoy the process, enjoy like the idea that you're not always going to have the idea figured out all the time. Like you just kind of have to learn those things. And
Yeah.
so, he said, he was saying that like, what is that? I was asking him, cause I was like, like, where do I go to like get into full time with just VA? Like, when do you think that that's a good time? And he was like, well, I've been doing this for like over a decade. I didn't start doing it until recently.
Mhm.
Not saying it's going to take you that long, but just learn to enjoy the process, enjoy the learning parts, enjoy like failing and then learning from it. And so I think a mixture of, what is it? Bryce's helped me a ton. And I think Drew's addition to that was like the cherry on top that I needed to kind of keep pushing further. So,
Yeah.
big shout out to both of them for that. So yeah.
Oh, I love that. So what was a moment during your career, the 3 years or whatever so far, that made you go, I'm doing something great here?
I think it was the convention for Eden's Garden. I think that was probably the most significant time for me on that front. Another sad story, actually. So yeah, I know I have a bunch of those. So, but
Yeah.
what is it? But like, and like, sorry, not to sound like super depressing, but
No.
like it's things
It's
that I'm
life.
happy to say that it's life, and I'm proud to say that I was able to push through them. I had some friends back in high school. Well, so I was already like well out of high school, and I was starting to think about the Crunchyroll stuff, and I was like, okay, like if I do move to Texas, I kind of want to go see my hometown again. I want to see like I kind of want to like walk around and kind of like reminisce a little bit. So I did, and I ended up seeing some people that I used to hang out with every day, and they were not great. They said some stuff to me that was not, you wouldn't say it to anyone. Let's just say that.
Okay, yeah.
Well, I guess I'll be more detailed, but they basically said, we never believed in you. We still don't believe in you. We don't think you can do it. We like da 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 da. And
Jesus.
so I was like, wow, that's really fucked up.
Yeah.
So also, by the way, I hope I'm not swearing too much.
No, you're good.
Okay, cool. So I went home. I cried. I was like, I cannot believe anyone just said that to me. This is insane.
Yeah.
And this was right before the trip that we went, the convention that we were about to go to. And so I helped get the team a Sokka poster. So the game that we had was a nonprofit. So what is a lot of the love and a lot of the care that we had in it was from everyone on the team. Like everyone on the team would be like, oh, hey, like, let's get that person's hotel room, or let's like pitch in to get that person's plane ticket or something. Like we were all very much supportive in making this thing happen, less about like the financial side, more of just we wanted to make something really cool.
Yeah.
And so I had gotten us these big posters for the convention, and right after that happened, my flight kept getting delayed. And so it got delayed, I think like 8 times, like every 2 hours. It was like I was supposed to leave at noon, and then it got delayed till 2. Then at 1:30 it got delayed till 4, and then at 3:30 it got delayed to 6. And I was just like, so it was just this constant thing. I was just getting mad and mad and mad and mad. I'm like, are you kidding me? Right after all of this crap just happened. Mm-hmm. And so eventually the flight they end up doing the flight, and I'm like, okay, great. And so I end up going to the airport. I'm still furious. I'm just like, this is so messed up. Like, I cannot believe that this happened. I ended up missing a whole day of the convention, and I was like, this is terrible.
Yeah.
So I end up, So I end up getting to the convention. I have the weekend of my life. I meet all these incredibly talented people that are some of my best friends now. And we were really good friends before, but I think that like solidified our friendships for life. Mm-hmm. And our booth was the most popular at the convention. We got approached by the organizers, and they were like, hey, just so you know, like the most people we've seen go through this area have gone to your booth. You guys are doing fantastic. And so it was great. We had an awesome time. It was crazy. And so we all got to like vibe with each other, and I got to like realize like there's a reason why I left my hometown behind. There's a reason I don't associate much with it anymore. And it's because I just have like, I just seen so much bullshit there, and I just don't want to deal with it anymore. And I've moved on my own. I'm a new person now. I don't even want to like think about whatever shenanigans these people are getting into. And I'm just like, So that's basically it. What is it? So I would say that was significant because it felt like after something really tragic, like after something really terrible was said to me, I immediately went on the weekend trip of my life. It's still the best weekend I've ever had. Like, I think that is without question. And it made me realize who I want to be as a creative, and like the amount of fans that came up supporting us and telling us how good of a job we did. And we had people coming from all over the world. Like, we had people coming from out of country to America and coming to our booth, and then coming to our Q&A panel, and said that they came just to see us. And I'm like, that's amazing, right? That was our first. Yeah, I know. And so I think that convention really taught me why I'm doing this, and it's because I love creating, but I love putting that fire in people's stomachs too, of like, what are the things they can achieve, and that's what that like projects like that for me do to satisfy me artistically. We had a lot of people from that convention came up to us and said, oh, I like, because of you guys, I want to be a voice actor. Because of you guys, I want to be a composer. Because of you guys, I want to be a programmer. Because of you guys, I want to be a director. And so we had so many people coming up and telling us those things, and people cosplaying our characters. And so it was like a surreal weekend. A lot of times we kind of looked at each other and went, are we dreaming? Like, it's actually happening right now. Yeah. To reiterate, and to finish off, that weekend taught me who I am as both a person, a creative, and it showed me exactly what I want to do. And it showed me why I'm doing this. Yeah. So.
Oh my God, I love that. Yeah, God damn.
I got stories.
Yeah, Jesus.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my, yeah. I just started doing like meet and greets and stuff at conventions recently. And oh my God, like the
It's
emotion,
cool though,
yeah,
right?
it's so cool.
Yeah.
But I'm just a little guy. Why are you nervous? I appreciate it, but Jesus. But yeah, I God, going from that to a con which is so positive, and it, oh my God, Jesus. Yeah,
You should be proud.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's amazing. So Dragon Ball and My Hero Vigilantes aside,
Mhm.
what are your favorite manga?
Oh, I think Blue Lock,
Okay.
because and I thought it was funny because I am more of an animation guy.
Mhm.
What is it? And like I could go on a rant about indie animation for like about an hour, maybe two, maybe through probably the rest of the day.
Yeah.
But animation's always been a big thing that I'm really passionate about.
Mhm.
But for some reason, when I read Blue Lock, I'm just more like locked in. I'm just gonna make sure we get that pun out of the way. So I feel more invested when I'm reading it for some
Mhm.
reason than when I'm watching it. I don't know why. Like I think that the show's great, and I think all of the VAs are fantastic.
Yeah.
With Bachir is forever my favorite. I thought it was funny meeting Drew because I was
Yeah.
like, hey, you're my favorite character.
Yeah.
And so what is it? Yeah, so I think reading the manga, like I'm super invested into it. I ended up so I read the first 3 volumes, and I'm like, I'm just gonna like I have like a $50 Amazon card. I'm just gonna like get a sale that has like 6 or 7 of them. And so I
Yeah.
did. And so that's another thing that's on my bookshelf right now. And so I'm like almost done with that, and so I have to go get the next like 10 after that. So yeah, so yeah, so I Blue Lock is probably my favorite manga right now. I would say originally it would have been Vigilantes, but you already said, well, wait, no, yeah, you said that aside. So
Yeah. I feel you on that, because I prefer, like, I love Haikyuu, but I prefer the manga. Just because I don't know, I just like the art, and like it makes me feel like I can do anything.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, because it feels like sports anime is the one that's consistent in.
Yup.
Where like you're just like the manga, like anime, fantastic.
Yeah.
Manga, ooh,
Yeah, straight up. Well, it was funny because we were watching an anime called, I think it's called Sounds of Life, where it's like following these kids who are like koto players in a high school.
Yeah.
So it's like this traditional Japanese like koto playing, and
What is koto?
it's like a instrument. It's like that
Wow.
string, like I can't really, it's like a very, looks very complicated. And
Oh, I've seen these. Yeah. Okay.
yeah. And so we're watching this, and they're like, we gotta get to nationals, and I was like, this is just a sports anime. This is just a sports anime, but a little bit prettier, like less sweat, like.
I've wondered if there's like, and maybe you'll be able to tell me, is there like any Battle of the Bands anime? There's gotta be, right?
There's gotta be. None are coming up right now, but let me hold on. There's one that's coming up that might be. I'm not sure.
Okay.
Squad. What is this about? Let's see. What are you about? Okay, that's not about Battle of the Bands. Well, I got no idea.
Okay, so you and I are going to pitch to Japan. Hey, got an idea for you. There's this thing.
Hear me out.
Hear me out. Battle of the Bands anime. Maybe we can have like Scott Pilgrim styles of like actually fighting each other while playing instruments.
Yes. So, anime aside, you mentioned you loved animation? What are some of your favorite animated shows?
Oh, Hell of a Boss is
Okay.
definitely up
Yeah.
there. I have Brandon's signature, I have Millie's signature, I have Bryce's signature, Luna's signature, and then I have Moxie's back there. I still have to frame
Holy
it.
shit. God damn.
Yeah, so I love the show. What is it? That one I love. I think the idea that something that I had unfortunately heard for a while is that there's a lot of animation studios out there where they're not the best to their people.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you probably heard this as well.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, I like I like the idea that a lot of these animators have decided, you know what? Screw these conditions. We're gonna go make our own studio and we're gonna be successful and screw you. And so I've had the opportunity to work with a lot of those types of people who got out of those terrible situations and are now making these incredible shows. What is it? One of them being Oribus has what is it? Yeah, Oribus. I mean, was it you've seen? I'm sure you've seen Amazing Digital Circus. I think that's fantastic.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Lackadaisy was one that I really liked.
Okay.
I think Lackadaisy was the one that impressed me the most.
Okay.
And the reason why is because I remember showing a little bit of it to a friend, and they asked me, "Is this a Disney production?" And I think that that's crazy that someone could say that for a show. I think it was like $600,000 was the budget or something like that.
That's
so
it.
so an indie animation show, $600,000, and it can pass for Disney level animation. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. Yeah. So I think that's the one that blew me away, and I realized that we are in an era of animation that I have coined the indie animation renaissance.
Yeah.
And I think even more than it is right now, in the next 5 years, it's not even just going to be like a lot of these titans we see now. It's going to be a flood of them.
Yeah.
And then I think when that happens, that flood is going to become the new indie animation studio. It's going to become the new animation like center and the new animation industry. And so I'm excited for that. I'm very, very excited for that. I think that the best people to run animation studios are animators. They know they understand how it works.
Yep.
They understand how it works. Maybe they don't understand the business side of things to a T, but that's something you can learn. And so I think if you know how to treat your employees, you know what the rates are, and you're not screwing people over, and and you just understand how it all works, makes you a great boss, you know. And I think so I'm very supportive of indie animation. I think that's I want to be on that. I want to be on the flagship projects that help push that forward. So.
Yeah. I will always hate when like bigger studios cancel shows outright, and I'm like, this is popular. Why are you doing this? Like, like when the Owl House got only 3 episodes for the last season.
I have not seen it, but I heard it was hell in the streets.
Oh my God. I was ready to fight Disney. I was ready to fight a mouse. Like, oh my God. Because I love that show so much, and like deserves so much better.
Yeah, what is it? That one I missed, and then unfortunately I missed Steven Universe.
Oh yeah, I missed that one too.
That one I've heard is fantastic, but I definitely want to go back at some point and watch that.
Yeah.
No, it's crazy. It's crazy. It's a weird direction that we're going in right now, but I think long term it's going to definitely be for the better. So I'm excited.
Yeah, especially with like Amazing Digital Circus going to Netflix. That was insane.
Yeah, right.
I was like, I'm sorry, what? Like,
yep, we got Has Been Hotel on Amazon, and then we have Amazing Digital Circus on Netflix. No, we're cooking right now. We're cooking.
Yeah, literally. Well, thank you so much for being on.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah.
I realized they give you a.
I was like,
my bad. I'm so sorry.
It's all good. It's all good. That's so funny. Oh my God. Where can the lovely people find you?
I'm dying. What is you can find me on X, Twitter. I prefer Twitter. We're just gonna call it Twitter.
Yeah.
Can I talk about those for 2 seconds?
Yeah.
He really called it XCOM.
Gross.
Yeah. Man really liked a sci-fi video game, so he decided to call it, like, name it after an entire website.
I hate
We'll
it.
name it an entire website. I'm like, okay,
Great,
okay,
yeah.
gotcha. Yeah,
God.
but on Twitter you can find me. If you just search Dakota Farnsworth, you'll find me. But my tag is at Tarquin, TARQUIN _Arusa IRUSAVA. And then you can also find me on Instagram, same tag. And then I'm also on Blue Sky. I don't know that one off the top of my head because I know you have like a long long name. But if you search Dakota Farnsworth, you'll find me.
Yeah. Perfect. All right. And all of those will be down the description. You can follow me at Corky Cosplays on Instagram, Adam Corky everywhere else. Subscribe to the Patreon. You get early access to episodes as well as BTS and monthly exclusive videos. And yeah, I'll see you guys next week. Bye-bye.
Yeah, catch you later.